Yo, what's going on, everybody? Yeah, there we're heading. And man, we got an explosive recap here about Power Book 2 Ghost Episode 9, man. Check out this recap for real, you feel me? As I enjoy my little black and mild while I'm giving y'all this recap, you feel me? Mm-mm-mm. Yo, man. Episode 9, though. Man. Off the chain, right? Kane sets up shop with Lil Guap, right? Stupid, but Drew ends up busting in on their operation, and he doesn't approve of it. But of course, it's Kane, so he didn't do anything, right? He didn't do nothing. It brings us to the GTG murder investigation on the school campus. You know, I don't know if y'all remember, if y'all watched the show, The Boys, the character Laz Alonso, also known as Mother's Milk from The Boys, he enters the show, right, as a detective to investigate this murder on the campus, right? And you start to pick up on the dynamics between him and Professor Milgram, right? It seems like, he may have a little interest in her because he's showing it in his body language, right? And he's kind of like, in his body language, telling Professor Jabari to move around, you know what I'm saying? Just like, man, I'm focusing on her, man. What you talking about? So that brings us back to Zeke and Professor Milgram's situation, right? You end up getting to a scene where Zeke, looks like right after Pillow Talk, he spills the tea about his recent attack to Professor Milgram after she notices like all these bruises on his back, and she kept, pressing him on it, kept applying the pressure about trying to figure out what's going on, what happened, and she tries to encourage him to report the incident to the police as an assault, right? And she's trying to explain it to him in a way because she had already did research on Zeke and Monet and the Tejada family. She was looking up everybody, Lorenzo online, Googling them and getting that whole backstory and their history, right? So she's all conspiracy, theoried up. She's all like, yeah, this, you gotta do this, which would be the normal, outsider situation if you're not in the game like, the Tejada family is, right? So she's trying to encourage him to go to the police, right? Instead, Zeke goes back to Monet and is like, man, I don't want nothing to do with this. I want to kind of separate myself from y'all. This could actually jeopardize my career. And Monet's just like, you know what's going on? Relax, or whatever, saying, don't worry about it. Okay, While she's saying this, she's planning to meet Professor Milgram, to have sort of a sit down about the whole situation, right? So Monet pulls up. Doesn't really pull up. She's already in Professor Milgram's office with the lights off. So when Professor Milgram walks in, hits the lights, boom. There goes Monet, ready to kind of lay on the pressure, right? Let her know she knows about the secret relationship that her and Zeke have, and that if she keeps messing around with their family and trying to encourage Zeke to speak on it, she's going to let everybody know about their relationship, which could also ruin Professor Milgram's complete career. So that's just one big old mess, one big old explosion waiting to happen, right? And we end up getting to Tariq and Braden in their situation, and it leads to them continuing business as usual. Well, not as usual, a little bit different, but Tariq finally told Braden the truth about, why he lied about him and Riley. And, he gives Braden proof about how Riley is connected to Cooper Sacks who's a prosecutor, could be trying to set them up, trying to get information on them. So, you know, they decide after this that they're gonna move cocaine together, and they kind of squashed everything. And this meeting ended up leading to them speaking with Effie. Brandon walks off, and then Tariq confesses his feelings to Effie. He apologizes to her. He takes some money from Effie and gives her the product, right? And this it seems like this kind of repairs her situation. He explains to her how he feels like she's really the only one that he can trust because he can be himself around her for the most part of it, right? And it's kind of what I spoke on about the last review I did on episode 8. But as you can eventually start to determine that the title monster plays a big symbolism in this episode, right? Kane notices Rico gave Lil Guap Monet's shipment of product. He rushes Guap. They tussle for a moment until Kane ends up believing him that, hey, remember Monet killed DC Joe on the last episode during a botched drug deal when she wanted to switch up the order, and he was just like, nah, I don't care what you take, but I need my full money, and how that ended. So DC Joe, who is actually played by Jackie Long from ATL, he played the preppy boy, right? DC Joe and Rico are people. They're in the same organization. They could be family or whatnot. So with Rico's decision to move forward with the new distro also meant that he had to disassociate himself with his most current situation. So when Kane he moves to warn Monet because he's figuring out that Rico has decided to cut ties with the family, Tejada family. So Rico sends hitters to Monet's spot, and they light up the premises. They got all kind of fully loaded, whatever it is, AKs, everything. They just letting off. Kane arrives shortly after, and this is after Drew gets hit with the bullet, and they end up taking Drew to the hospital, and then Kane and Monet have a big emotional, kind of goodbye moment, like, I don't ever want to see you again, or I'm going to have to kill you, kind of thing. And later, Kane ends up meeting with Officer Ramirez, and an argument out of a situation ends up leading to Kane killing Officer Ramirez because of their agreement to conspire against Tariq went sour. Ramirez said, "No, I'm not trying to do this. I'm trying to back your mom, Monet." Matter of fact, he pulled the strap on and was like, "Man, I need you to leave." So, Officer Ramirez's death could definitely be bad for the entire Tejada family. Definitely for Kane, of course. You kill law enforcement. Law enforcement usually fights tooth and nail till they get you. You know what I'm saying? Till they shut you down. And this leads us to the scenario of handling business from Tasha to Tariq after they find out that Tariq is being included into this whole case because of the conspiracy with Cooper Sacks and Davis McClain to try to get Tariq out. Get Tasha out and replace her with Tariq, right? So basically, Tariq ends up getting a message from Tasha to take care of Epiphany, right? Instead of Tariq killing Epiphany, he decides that for her potential testimony, he pays her off to get Ghost, right? With money that he was actually going to use to pay Monet with, which later on leads to future tension between Tariq and Monet because they end up trying to solve the situation right before Rico sends the hitters to their spot. So they didn't really finish things, but it seems like Tariq protected Monet's daughter, which allowed the situation some peace for the moment. But she mentioned they're going to take care of that situation later on when things clear up. But Man, overall, the title monster, like I say, is big symbolism, even from the assignment that Jabari gave his students, including Tariq, about Frankenstein and how does one define a monster. And you'll see that that word gets used a lot, and the symbolism is huge. Woo, man, I can't wait to episode 10. It looks like Tariq is he's already admitted to killing his father, uh, to his new lawyer. So we're going to see how all this plays out, man. It's going to be interesting, man. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel and you're ready for more Power reviews, Power Book 2 updates, and recaps, make sure that you hit this channel, baby, youtube.com to be Scott. And make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, and hit that notification bell, baby. And you already know we already vibe out at the end, you dig?
Drank a long night after we fell in the cases. I would keep drinking alone. When I feel loud on one, and I'ma keep drinking until all the drink is gone. Damn right, I'm high as the sky be. The G5s, that's why I be. Then it's back to reality, cause I can hear the sirens. Damn HBT right behind me. Not a little weed and a pain and a half, but thanks to Dawn, I got a stash.